So I'm Miss Griffith. I'm the head of RS at Prendergast School. I teach religion, philosophy and ethics along with one of my colleagues as well. So I'm going to go through what the course involves, what the course is. I've got the Q&A box up as well. So if you've got any questions you want to ask me, then I'll either answer them as we go through the presentation or I'll wait to the end and answer them and see how we get on there. Religious studies. So it's a philosophy, ethics and a study of religion. So the course has always historically been philosophy and ethics, and when the specification got changed to make it linear, so that means that you do all your exams at the end of the course, it's now a study of religion, a study of philosophy and a study of ethics. So what are we looking at in the course? So we're looking to develop an understanding of appropriate specialist study, adopt an inquiring and critical and reflective mind, and to develop your own values, opinions and attitudes to how you study. The specification course that we follow is EDUCAS. And what I'll do is I'll go through how you're examined and then I'll go into a bit more depth about what exactly is in the course. Here we go. So if anybody's just joined, then do feel free to answer any questions or ask any questions as we go through, and I'll do my best to answer them. So the course has three components. So it's got a component of study of religion, philosophy of religion, and then religion and ethics. And you can see on the PowerPoint there that each part of the course is 33%, so they're all equally weighted. And at the end of the 2-year course, it's a two-hour exam on each section, so on Christianity, philosophy and ethics. So I've jumped ahead a little bit there. You can see that the study of religion, we study it from a Christian point of view, and then we look at philosophy and ethics as well. So let me go through and explain a bit more about what the content will be. So the study of Christianity. So we've chosen to do from the Christian point of view. And what does that entail? So we're looking first of all at the authority of the Bible. We know that the Bible is the religious holy book for Christians. So what does it mean by the authority? Well, is the Bible just a book of people's ideas, people's kind of understandings? Can we use it as a historical book? So is anything in the Bible historical that we can say is accurate, and can we test that? Who was Jesus as a historical figure? So this man Jesus, is he somebody who factually existed? What part of his life was historically true? What part of his life is perhaps kind of exaggerated? How much can we look at this man's life and say this is someone who comes from a higher power? So you're looking at all of those kind of questions and looking at evidence to evaluate that. We do a really lovely feminist theology module, so where we look at how language of religion is very heavily male based, why that's happened, how that's evolved and the impact that that has on society today. So it isn't just kind of if you're a religious follower, it's how that impacts society. And then we look at challenges to Christianity from science, atheism and other religious faiths. So all of that's incorporated in the first module. So then we move on to philosophy, and although I'm going through this as an order of religion, philosophy and then ethics, we don't necessarily do it in that order. You study all parts concurrently, so at the same time. So philosophy of religion, you're looking at Richard Dawkins. Lots of you may have come across Richard Dawkins, very famous for his The God Delusion book. So very famous atheist who says that religion can't exist, it's made up. So we look at these arguments for there being a higher power. If there is a higher power, how does that higher power exist? Is there evidence that shows that higher power exists? Can we prove the existence of this? Why do some people believe this? Why would other people say, no way, that absolutely can't happen? We look at philosophical language, how we're limited by the language that we use, how language has evolved to perhaps portray the meaning that we want it to portray, and how translations of language evolve to have slightly different meanings and interpretations. And then the new part of the course that students really love, they find really engaging, is this psychology part at the bottom. So if any of you are thinking of studying psychology as well, then the two courses match up really well. And you can see we look at, is religious belief a product of the human mind? Is religious belief an illusion? And we study the psychologists Jung and Freud there. So that's a really engaging part of the course that lots of pupils enjoy. And then we've got the ethics part as well, which again is a part that students find really exciting. Lots of discussion, lots of debate, lots of kind of time for reflection and analysis. So we're looking at different ethical theories, utilitarianism, so questioning the greatest good for the greatest number. I'm really sorry, the lights have just gone off. I'll carry on because otherwise we'll waste time, but the switch is on the other side of the room, so my apologies for that. We look at sexual ethics and how they kind of impact on our life today, what kind of moral attitudes people have and why. Environmental ethics, so how we treat the environment, the importance of looking after the environment and different ethical responses there. And then we look at the idea of free will and whether we are free agents to make our own decisions, or whether kind of we're controlled by higher power. So that's a really exciting part of the course that we really enjoy. Next part, so what do you gain from a study of this subject? Why would you want to study it? So let's have a look at these. So an ability to have independent thought, kind of that ability for inquiry, for critical analysis, higher level thinking. You can see there the ability to spot flaws in arguments, to form your own arguments and put your own arguments forward. That ability to kind of question and analyse. So really kind of important skills that lead you on to lots and lots of different careers. So it's really valued as a subject, both at university and then at higher levels, so in different careers. So what sort of careers do you go into if you study philosophy and ethics? So let's have a little look. So lots and lots of city firms, banks, consultancies, chartered accountants. They're all jobs that want you to show the ability to think clearly, to analyse and to critique. So it's again something that's really looked at as valued there. Lots of students who study this subject then go on to do law, that ability to form an argument, to look at other people's points of view, to use evidence to analyse and put forward an argument. Obviously teaching, sometimes we forget to mention it, but it is an excellent career. Medicine really values this subject as well. So you've got lots of ethical decisions that you would make in medicine or in nursing that this subject kind of really leads you onto in a great way. And again, I've said this in my other presentations as well, that if you're watching the news at the minute, you'll see lots of interviews with doctors, nurses that show how they've had to make real ethical decisions, life or death decisions, in quite short time and with not kind of lots of time to reflect on all the outcomes of the scenario. So this is something that kind of leads you onto that really nicely as well. And then I've just put journalism at the bottom as well as something that is valued. And then I think my next slide actually goes on to look at, yep, so here we go, and this is actually my last slide. So you can read through what people say, they enjoy it, it's something that is kind of really valued. This year I've got 20 students doing A-level philosophy and ethics, which is a lovely number because it allows us to have lots of discussion, lots of debate, lots of kind of different points of view. So it makes it a really enjoyable lesson. Results there, we've had excellent results in the department. So you can see that our last cohort of results, we had 83% of students get an A star to C grade, and 100% of students got an A star to D grade. So again, you're going to get good results if you choose to study the subject. And I've raced through there, I've gone really quickly. So I hope that I've kind of covered the information that you would want to ask. A few things that I didn't include in the PowerPoint. So you'll need to have a level 6, a grade 6 to study the course. Either in English and or a humanities subject. Now, a few people have asked, do you need to study RS at GCSE in order to study this at A level? No, you don't. Providing you're getting that grade 6 to show that you're able to write an essay and do extended writing, then it's absolutely not a problem if you've not studied it, because the content is new, and so you wouldn't be missing out or at a disadvantage. I think that's all the information that I've got to share with you. Brilliant, someone's asked a question. So I was just going to say, if you've got any questions, then please put them in the chat now. So somebody's asked, which A-level subjects go well with RS? Thank you, because I didn't cover that. So I've already mentioned psychology, that goes really well. You've then got sociology and politics, go really well with it, all essay-based subjects, and also history. And there's lots and lots of topics that overlap and lots of skills that overlap if you do those subjects. As I say, it is an essay-based subject, so that's how you're examined, so through essay writing. So if you are doing essay-based subjects, it's quite good, because then you're just getting used to the practice and what's expected of you. So hopefully that's answered that. Has anyone got any other questions at all that you'd like to ask? Anything that I didn't cover or that you're unsure about? Feel free to put it in the chat there, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. No, I don't think there's anything. Okay, well, in that case, I think if we've got no more questions, again, it's disappointing we can't do this face to face, so it's a shame that I don't get to see kind of who you are. Hopefully we'll see lots of you in September. All being well, you'll come and join us. Best of luck for year 11. I hope it all goes well. I hope you do well in your exams. And as I say, all being well, we'll see you in September. Somebody else has just asked, do you get a range of teachers? Yep, so I teach it, and then my colleague, Mr. Levine, teaches it as well. So we share the course between us, and we share the teaching between us as well. So absolutely we do. I'll give it an, thank you. I'll give it another moment there, just see if you've got any more questions, anything I've not covered. And if not, I'll let you go and enjoy your evening. And hopefully you've been to all the sessions you wanted to go to. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and we've been able to answer all your questions, all being well. I don't think we've got any more. Okay, in that case, then I'll end the meeting. As I say, best of luck for year 11, and all being well, hopefully we'll see you in September, as many of you as possible. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much. Bye.